Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 7th episode of Experience Matters at Engineered Learnings. And once again, we have Mr. Akash Ball with us. But this time it's huge. This time it's big. It's better than before. Now, last time we met with Mr. Akash Ball, he was in IIT Bombay and he was almost completing his master's MTech there. And fortunately, when we speak today, it's big. Now he's going for a PhD in the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, that is MIT. It's big. When we talk about MIT, it's like everyone knows it's the #1 university in the world right now, and in some specific domains as well. And getting a PhD admission there, it's huge, it's big. So Akash, last time we met, you were in IIT Bombay, and now you are heading towards MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. So how is the feeling, and how did it happen?
Hi Soumajit. So it's good to be back here. So yeah, I mean, the feeling is great. I mean, actually, it's very difficult to express in words. So I mean, it's like a dream come true moment. I mean, and I think that also my experience at MIT is going to be exhilarating. In terms of maybe how do I get into MIT? I mean, maybe in one sentence I can tell you that maybe it's the result of all the hard work that I've been putting in since the very first semester of my undergraduate. So I think that hard work has finally paid off.
Absolutely, absolutely. As a student, as we all know, you have been academically brilliant throughout, and the result is definitely now something that you are getting, the MIT. So, when we talk about the MIT, what do you think is the profile preparation for a PhD application in MIT and other foreign colleges? What is the application process? And we would like to know for the students that are coming out of masters from India or even abroad, and they want to pursue their PhD from MIT or similar colleges abroad. What is the application process, and how do they need to prepare their profile? Like you said, that from the bachelor's you have been working on it in slow and steady steps. So what do you recommend to these people who are doing their masters and want to pursue PhD from abroad universities in their later stage, or also the students that are pursuing their bachelor's? What is the profile building process, and what is the application procedure?
So I'll come to the profile building process first. So if someone is targeting to go for PhD after their undergrad or maybe masters, the first and foremost thing one need is to have a decent amount of a decent academic record. For example, good GPA, maintaining good GPA, and also along with that, having several research experience comes in handy. Because when you are going for PhD directly from undergrad, so you need to have certain amount of research experience so that you can mention in your statement of purpose. Along with the line, if you can publish maybe a journal article or a conference paper, if you can attend seminars and all, that actually helps a lot. And finally, I mean, you need to also have connections. You need to build new connections and all with the professors with whom you're working and all, because at the end of the day, they will be recommending you for your PhD application. So one need to keep in mind all those aspects. And regarding the application process, I mean, I'll mostly talk about the US universities, but if you talk about other parts of the world, such as Canada or Europe, the application process is similar. So for example, for US universities, the application process for the fall semester opens around, middle of the September, and it actually ends, maybe middle of the December or actually end of the December, generally speaking. Before the application process starts, one need to, have certain exam scores such as GRE or TOEFL or IELTS, so these exams. Additionally, like now, many universities, they are no longer asking for GRE scores. So if someone is applying to those universities, they can, they may not appear for GRE, but one need to have mandatory English language exam for non-native speakers, such as either TOEFL or IELTS. So that is there, and then for universities there is application form, and the forms are actually quite big. You need to fill in all those details and everything. You need to build your resume. You need to provide your resume in the application portal. You need to write statement of purpose for the university you're applying to, and more importantly, for the program you're applying to in the department. And you need to also collect recommendation letters from your referees, from professors or your employer, finally to recommend you for that particular program. So that is the overall application process.
Great, Akash. That was a very detailed explanation. So just when we talk about this, this application process and then the selection process and profile preparation, but what after PhD? What is there in the basket post PhD? Because if somebody is investing so much of time, and we have heard so much lately about MIT, we know that it is a great institute, it is the best university, pan the entire world right now. So have you explored the opportunities that will be there for you or the students that are a pass out, or a PhD, who has completed the PhD from MIT? What are the opportunities post that? And what is your orientation? What do you want to do post your, or what are you planning to do post completing your PhD? And if you would just hold up your mic a little bit, I think it would be a little more audible and
helpful. Okay. So am I now audible better?
Yes, you are much better.
Is my voice? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So like my answer will be like oriented to the MIT. So the major three aspects like people explore after the PhD is, first of all is academia, second is industry, and third is starting your own company. So in academia, like people after PhD they go for postdoctoral positions for maybe 2-3 years, and they start looking for positions of assistant professor in different parts of the world, maybe in US or maybe in different wherever you want to be. And then secondly, there are many people who after PhD they want to join the industry, and they go for mainly for different R&D positions, maybe in government institutes or maybe in private institutes. So that is there. And finally, MIT has a great startup culture. I mean, historically speaking, there are many famous startups that have been built by MIT alumnus. So yeah, I mean, there are many people who want to start their own company right after they finish their PhD. So that option is also there. And regarding my orientation, I mean, I have slight inclination towards going to the academia after my PhD, but also I'm trying to keep an open mind. So I haven't, enforced. I haven't enforced anything upon myself.
Right. It's not decided yet, but there are a lot of varied options, as you said. There are options of postdoc. There are options of industry going into the R&D sectors, and also some startup culture that is there in the MIT. So once you prepare the profile right from the beginning and you go through the rigorous application process and you make it in, it will then, if I say that there will be ample opportunities for you to explore upon, it won't be a very wrong statement. It's just that you need to do the correct thing at the correct point of time. It's never going to be a piece of cake that will be served. You need to work on it, but definitely the opportunities are ample, as you clearly pointed out. And now my next question, Akash, would be, we have heard that when we talk about this higher studies culture, broadly speaking, three main domains exist in the higher studies culture. One is where a person goes for a MS from a university abroad, that is outside India or outside their homeland, and then they do a PhD there only. So MS and then PhD outside India. Another route is what you are following currently, that is MTech from a premium institute in India, post which you do your PhD abroad, in a foreign college. And the other thing is doing an integrated course of MS plus PhD, where you get a PhD degree after a certain period of time from a college outside India only. So what is the primary difference, as a layman, what is the primary difference in the end result according to you? And which one do you, according to you, is more preferable for the newbies, considering a level playing ground for everyone?
So actually, the thing is that there are many undergraduate people, who don't know whether they want to really go for higher studies or they want to do an PhD. So for them in particularly, it's better to have a master's degree. because during the master's degree, they have to do the project work, thesis work and all. And at that time, they get to spend enough amount of time in labs and all. So by that time, they get the feeling of that whether they can, they are PhD material or not, whether they can go for PhD or, whether, they want to go for an industry. So that is there. So, if someone is at undergrad and they are not sure whether they want to do PhD, so then doing a master's is a better option. So that gives you an additional 2 years of time to figure out what you really want to do. Now, coming to whether MS or MTech, I would strongly suggest that going for MTech is better than going for MS. The sole reason is that in MS in abroad there are very few scholarships. Like in particular US, I'm talking about. So there are very few scholarships, and they're usually highly competitive. And actually, everything you have to like from tuition fee to your cost of attendance, everything you have to pay from your own pocket. So and that's a huge amount. So if you are like maybe from a very financially very like rich, then you can, then it's very difficult to afford that. You have to take loan, otherwise it is not possible for you to attend that particular university. In particular, that MTech, you get stipend if you are get qualified. Then you obviously get a stipend doing on MTech, and the fees are like compared to MS, it's not so high, so you can manage. So, and now coming to MS integrated degree, right? MS plus PhD or PhD. So, like as I said, that if someone is from undergrad, they can go for MS plus PhD also, because again that gives you some amount of time to figure out. If you're liking that course curriculum and everything, the research culture, then you can convert your degree to PhD. But if you're not liking it, if you think that you cannot invest maybe 4 or 5 years of life, so it's better to get an MS degree and then just drop out. And yeah, so once you have an MTech degree, so by the time you have an MTech degree, you are quite sure that whether you want to go for a PhD or not. So once you have an MTech degree, you don't need any other MS degree. If you are, finally want to be in academic PhD, you want to do PhD. So you don't need another MS degree or another master's degree. So if you have done MTech, then you can directly go for PhD. So that would be my suggestion to that.
Yes. So preferably, according to you, since MS is, if I summarize, since MS, the scholarships are lesser and the course curriculum is a little expensive, and if somebody cannot bear that cost, it's better to do an MTech, understand if their orientation lies with PhD, with going for further higher studies, or with the industry, and then realizing that skill set, one should decide for a PhD degree abroad. In that sense, it will be better structured and also cost effective. So yes, absolutely a great explanation. And my question, follow-up question, and probably the last question of the day also, is going to be to understand, because nowadays there is a lot of peer pressure that is also coming on. Everyone is doing something, everyone is doing MBA, so we have to also go for MBA. If everyone is doing some, they are trying in for some PSUs in GATE, so people also try to go for PSUs, because there is a certain amount of peer pressure. And in this peer pressure, what we have seen is two kind of things. First of all, the people are not very sure that whether they want to go for further studies or not, whether they want to pursue masters, or even if they do masters, whether they want to go for a PhD or not. They're not pretty sure about it. Even after doing the curriculum fully or completing the curriculum, they're still confused at some point of time, what to do or where to go ahead. Where is my orientation? That's a little difficult to understand because of that peer pressure that is existing. Apart from that, due to the peer pressure and the instability, the so-called instability in the field of academics, not many brilliant minds, I'm very glad that a brilliant mind like you chose academics, because we need people in academia like you. But mostly what we have seen is people are not oriented towards academics, though they are keenly interested in the subject. They are liking it, but mostly they feel a little insecure while pursuing the higher studies. First of all, there is a confusion that whether they want to go or not. And secondly, what adds on to the chaos is the fact that they do not feel secure when they do a master's or a PhD. So what do you really, really think about this thing? How should the people understand their orientation? and how should they be more bold and brave to come into academia and take the next step if they like the subject?
Yeah, so to answer your first question, I think that it's very natural to have confusion when you are an undergrad, because in undergrad you have a lot of courses and all, and it's very difficult to manage research as well as courses. So most of the undergrad people who are there, they don't have proper research experience in their undergrad. So even if they like the courses and everything, they're not sure whether research is for them or not. So for them, I mean, as I said in the previous answer to the previous questions as well, that for them it is better to go for a master's degree. So now when you are in masters, for example, in IIT Bombay, I'll give you an example of my alma mater. So there, you have to do like almost 1.5 years. You invest on 1.5 years of your masters for your project, in your project. So that's a huge amount of time. And by that time you get to interact with professors, you sit in labs with desktops in front of you. You have lab groups, and you talk to different PhD and postdoc students. You get to learn a lot from them. You understand what is the proper research culture is, and by that time you know that whether you are meant to be for this culture or not. So yeah, so I mean, I think that once people come to masters degree, they are by that time they become quite sure that whether they want to go for higher studies, I mean further studies, or they want to go for industries or any other option such as MBA or something like that. So yeah, so that is the question. I mean that is the answer. I mean, if someone is from undergrad and he or she is not sure, then it's better to go for masters. And in the masters, uh, like people get enough amount of time to figure out what actually they will want to do. And to answer your second question, I think that the most important thing people should do is follow their heart, not succumbing to peer pressure. Like if they're good at something and they feel that they can do extraordinary things in that field, they should follow that. I mean, peer pressure from parents or friends, I mean, they shouldn't bother about that. And like academia, I mean, people the answer to your question, like in academia, like people are more afraid to go for PhDs, that it takes some amount. I mean, like 4 or 5 years, and you need to have that kind of diligence and persistence to ultimately becoming successful in that particular field. And it takes time, 4 or 5 years, like 5 or 6 years. I mean, that amount of time it takes. So I mean, that's why people get careful about that. And like there are many people who are not, they don't want to provide that much amount of time, actually for further studies. So that is the main reason. And I mean, my suggestion for them would be to just to follow their heart. And regarding the security and everything, I think right now, if you see like in every sector there is a very high chance of not getting any job or something like that. Like if you see right after BTech, there are many people who are unemployed. From after masters also, there are many people who are unemployed, because actually, I mean, there are obviously the population has grown much longer, much larger. So that is the reason. I mean, not only in academia, you see in industry sectors as well, in government sector, everywhere there is a unemployment you will see. So it's better to not thinking about all those things or peer pressure from friends or parents, just to follow your heart. I mean, whatever you want to do and whatever you're good at, if you want to do that, just do it. I mean, don't think about anything too much.
Right, because if you love what you do, and if you actually do what you love, then at the end of the day you will be happy, and that's what matters. Satisfaction at the end of the day is the most important thing. So that brings us to the end of the conversation, Akash, and thank you very much for the invaluable time that you have spared. It was fantastic talking to you. And just before we take a leave and we bid you goodbye and all the best for MIT, you are off to a great journey, and we are really proud of you. Before you just take a leave, any last minute tips to your juniors, or even to the people who are just pursuing masters and thinking that maybe next year, who knows, that they might join you for the MIT program there. They're just planning to do so. So what will be the tips to those particular students or aspirants, or the newbies even, in their bachelor course? What is going to be that one takeaway that you had since the so many years that you have been in the academics field? What is the one takeaway that you would like to share with the audience that is there?
Yeah, so one thing I've realized from observing people and all is that like people they tend to limit their capabilities. They don't have like big enough dreams. So my advice would be to dream big. Dream without any limits. That is the biggest advice. You don't know your capabilities. Believe me. Someone may think that maybe some other person is holding you back, but it's the you who is holding you back, no one else. So just dream big, and automatically everything will follow. If you have a dream in your life, you have a passion in your life, hard work, and everything will automatically follow. So just believe in yourself, dream big, and just achieve your goals. So that would be my tips to the aspirants or my juniors.
Great, great, great. That's very crisp and to the point. Dream big. You will work hard, and you will achieve that someday. Dreams will come true if you work hard towards it. So yes, learn to dream big. That is what I tell to my subscribers or my audience as well. Learn to dream, because if you dream, there is no money that you need to spend. वो बोलते हैं ना कि सोचने के लिए पैसा नहीं लगता, सपने देखने के लिए पैसा नहीं लगता, तो सपने देखो. Just dream and dream big. So thank you very much once again, Akash. It was fantastic. So that was Akash Ball, taking a leap towards MIT and he's signing off today. So we conclude the episode. One more episode is done. So if you like it, share it, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon for regular updates, because we are going to bring more industry and academia experts on this channel to interact with you, so that we can learn together, we can gather together, and we can proceed and succeed together as well. So thank you once again, Akash. It was a great.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely a pleasure. Absolutely a pleasure. So thank you very much, folks. That's it for today. Signing off.